Hi guys, how are you all today morning? Good morning. Today is 19th April 2023. My name is T.S.V. Raghavan and I live in Chennai, Tamil Nadu, India. This is my spiritual vlog on YouTube. Haribol TRSV Nectar NECTAR Nectar. In this particular vlog, in my previous videos, we have been discussing about the knowledge and information that we have gleaned through the study of spiritual books, scriptures, contemplation on the material universe, and meditation on the spiritual universe. This particular video is no exception to that rule. In fact, it is only a continuation of what we have been doing till now in this vlog. Kindly subscribe to this vlog and press the bell icon so that I may keep reminding you of my other videos. Today we shall discuss about something that I observed during my contemplation of the material universe and meditation on the spiritual universe. Before going further, let me clear this that when talking about the shades of color and the shades of different tints, I do not mean the shade of the color of the skin of the physical body. I only mean to talk about the shade or color of the character of a particular person. Hence, people may not take this otherwise. We all know that the positive light white energy of 5% is divine, the 75% normal human energy is gray, and the 20% negative dark energy is totally black. In other words, the 5% divine is totally white, the 20% demonic is totally black, and the 75% humanity is of different shades of gray. That is, among the 75%, people are neither white nor black in character. They are only a different shade or shades of gray. Lighter the gray, the more divine the person is. Darker the gray, the more demonic the person is in character. Let me remind you, I am not talking about the color of the skin of the gross body. I am only talking about the color of the character of a human being. Now, different shades of gray. That means that the implication or the influence of dark matter or light matter on the brain and the psyche of a particular human being. Now, we know that the universal law of life and every other thing in the society applies to everyone in the 75%. That is, the same law applies to anyone who wants to be demonic or anyone who wants to be divine. In other words, both have equal rights in the society, and it depends fully or completely on the choice of a particular person to tilt in a particular direction. This goes with everything, including one of the main principles of business. There was one very notorious mobster called Meyer Lansky in New York, America in the early 20s and 30s. He died in 1981 only at the age of around 80. This guy was actually a genius. He could have done extremely well in any walk of life, whether legit or illegit. That is, this guy was a bookworm who was a virtual walking, talking encyclopedia. This man observed one theory which is called the theory of demand and supply in the field of economics and finance. Demand and supply means that if the demand of a commodity is low or high, the price of that commodity depends on the demand for that commodity or service and the supply thereof. If the demand is more and the supply is less, in that case, the price for the commodity will rise. On the other hand, if the supply is more and the demand is less, the price of that commodity or service will certainly fall. This is a universal theory which can be used both in legitimate as well as illegitimate business. Now, this demand lies in the hands of the public, but to increase or decrease or give birth to it depends on the capability and capacity of a particular person. There have been several legitimate business houses who have spent a lot of money in research and analysis to find out or invent or discover new types of products and introduce them into the market to get a demand for that particular commodity. During the marketing and advertisement, these legitimate business houses have gone to the extent of offering the same to the public almost free of cost to create a demand for that particular commodity into the public. In other words, they have waited patiently for the demand of that particular commodity or service to grow into the public psyche and mentality. This has been true with all sorts of commodities and services, be it foodstuffs, beverages, clothes, alcohol, cigarettes, everything that is considered to be legitimate or was accepted as legitimate in future. That is, when the public decided to demand these particular commodities, they sooner or later became legitimate. Clothes, foodstuffs, beverages, sweets, etc. are no problem. They are legitimate right from the word go. But alcohol and cigarettes and tobacco, etc., were considered illegitimate in the beginning, became legitimate later, and nowadays there are several restrictions posed on them. Similar is the case with another very important thing, which is alas considered illegitimate, and hence people dealing in them are considered to be demonic. We have to see how demonic those people are and how illegitimate that thing is. This is the case with opium, cocaine, heroin, and other drugs. These drugs, when they were used for medical purposes, were considered legitimate. But when some so called unscrupulous guys introduced them to the general public free of cost, these goods grew into the public's psyche and increased their demands. So much so that what was once introduced to the public almost free of cost became more and more expensive. Hence, those people who are dealing in drugs, gambling, alcohol, etc., are not that bad. In other words, they are only a very dark shade of grey. We cannot call these people total from the hellish planets, that is totally black. They are only very hard or very thick shade of grey. They are not conducive to the society's atmosphere, yes, but at the same time, they are not totally evil. It is rather unfortunate that negative things get more demand than positive things. In other words, worship of gods or introduction of books, scriptures, music, hymns, etc., the religious hymns, etc., is not as much in demand as the negative side of gambling, tobacco, alcohol, drugs, then glamorous music, sexual music, etc. This is rather unfortunate, but if the society tries, it can change the course of destiny towards positivity if it wants. That is, very dark shades of grey do have still the power to come out into very light shades of grey and ultimately reach the 5% totally white divinity. There is hope even for the darkest of grays to become the lightest tint of grey and thus join white one day or the other, get self realized, liberated, and delivered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Kindly let me know what you think of my talk on this particular matter. Please give me your own expert opinions, thoughts, ideas, and views so that we may blend everything together for the sake of this society. Before concluding, let me remind you that I am also a published author with Amazon Kindle and paperback. I write on spiritualism, fiction, and assorted subjects. Spiritualism happens to be my favorite subject. Before we meet in my next video, this is Good Morning from TSV Raghavan.